what if, and I actually need to change the orientation slightly so it's not on an angle. What if being unapologetically me is exactly what sets someone else free? What if it's you? I'm your host, Melinda Dawn of Unapologetically Yours. And this is going to be a spliced video. So right now I am en route to pick up my kids from school. It's Thursday. And I just left what was supposed to be, and I was excited for it to be, a bridge meeting, bridge lesson. Playing bridge cards. The game, it's usually older folks. It's usually older folks who are playing this. Anyway, I'm so excited because we did not play bridge. I got to learn, I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. I got to learn Mahjong, which I wanted to play. I probably have wanted to play bridge for longer, but I've been more excited about learning to play Mahjong because of the movie Crazy Rich Asians. Oh, this is a one-way, so I can only go left. Haha, that works. Good thing I didn't turn right by mistake. All right, so I just learned Mahjong, and I got Mahjong, and I'm a rock star learner. Thank you, Barb, for letting me come join your group, and the other ladies, Laura, Marty, who has done some domestic violence work, something in the system somehow, director, I don't know, but for 30 years, so that's a great connect. Laura actually gave me a website. I'm going to say this too. Janie's Fund. Janies. As in Sam Fund. I think I'm supposed to turn left. And we both have to go this way. Okay, Janie's Fund. And it's Tyler from Aerosmith. Anyway, there's something about, maybe it's something for housing. I don't know. I'm going to check it out. I'm very excited about that. And then there was obviously Barb. There was a Kathy. She got the second Mahjong. Really, once the person gets Mahjong, the game's over, but we just, we were in learning mode. And then, the other person was Deborah, as in Deborah. That's how you spell it. Oh, I am very excited. So, I have notes for what I want to talk about, but I just wanted to share the excitement about the Mahjong thing. And my notes, I'm vaguely remembering what I'm going to talk about, but it's not for now. You know what? I wonder if I pause this. Ooh, I could pause this, and I could use my phone. It just takes so long. It takes so long to upload when you do a long video on your phone, but I'll pause it nonetheless. And then if I pause it, here's what I'm working through. I don't even have to pause it. I can stop it, right? However, if I get home and I can just have it as one thing, that'll just make my life easier. So I'm gonna choose the easy button. Thank you. Okay, so I'm still en route to pick up the kids. Left lane must turn left. Dang it. There are a lot of cars in the right lane. Okay. I want to give a shout out to Sabrina. Dr. Sabrina Cardona. I was really encouraged to get your text. And I was bummed that I couldn't just do lunch with you today, except for the fact that I was excited to do this bridge Mahjong thing. And I was bummed that I couldn't just have lunch with you tomorrow. So it'll have to wait. our catch-up will have to wait, but I just wanted to put it out there to the whole universe that I was thankful that you reached out so we can connect and catch up. And also, I want to say that it's for all of you pediatricians out there, or any kind of doctor. You could be a chiropractor, you know, all your friends, all your family members expect to get all of the advice and all of the support and all of the resources from you. And I just want to acknowledge, you know, you're doing I'll say what my friend told me, you're doing the Lord's work. You are appreciated more than I'm sure you're even told. I am speaking as a mother whose friend is a pediatrician, Sabrina, and she has helped me more times than I can count, from chickenpox to various other rashes to breastfeeding. She helped me nurse. Dude, I think all 3 of my babies I've had issues with, and it was so scary, but she knows her stuff, and she was so confident. And so one of the things I'll never forget is babies, when they're first born, they're obligatory nose breathers. And so she would instruct me to just jam the baby onto my breast. I can say that, right? And, you know, for him or her to get a good latch, right? And like, I didn't have to worry about my baby's going to stop breathing, because they have to breathe out of their nose. So therefore, they'll make the minor adjustments that they need with their head to move in order to get on. And so I can't remember if it was for Kalel or Michaela Sue, but one of them, if not both of them, it had been so long between the previous child that I kind of forgot her wisdom and advice. And I just, you know, I was a brand new mom with all of the things that entails, being exhausted and yeah, being exhausted. You know, you just made a whole baby inside of you and gave birth. And in my case, each of my children were cut out of me. But there are just so many beautiful moments that I've had with her, but I forgot about her support prior. And so I was just struggling, and I was just in pain, and breastfeeding should not hurt. And if it hurts, something is wrong, and it's okay. And you're not wrong, and you're not the worst mom, and your baby's not the worst baby, even if they bite you. Anyway, this is a nice segue into what I know I'm going to be talking about, which is when people are in that thing that's for them, like their job, their career, their art even. So I love when I see people in the thing that is meant for them, that they're supposed to be in, that sparks joy, that like it's just for them. And so Sabrina, that is a thing that's just for you, and you just give so much care to your patients and to their parents, and you know, practically 24/7 support, you know. And I love you, and I'm so grateful for all of the ways that you've loved my babies, all of them, and loved me as their mom, and just loved me as a woman before I even got pregnant with any one of them. Thank you very much. And thank you for giving the world part of, because there's so many more things. Like, you are an absolute artist for sure, painter. I don't even know all the things that you, blankets, y'all. she hand knits, like, I don't know if you call it knitting or crocheting, but, and I'm using my hands because she uses her hands. It's not like she doesn't use needles. Do you know what I mean? To, like, first of all, I've commissioned some, and then there have been gifts, I think. So I have paid her, you know, even just provided the material. It was it was a work of love, and I don't know that she does it anymore. I do know that she does owe me a blanket for Michaela Sue. And if necessary, I will pay you to do it, girl, woman, doctor. Put some respect on it. So anyway, yeah. All right. That's all I have for right this moment, because I really am exhausted. It's as if I just gave birth to a 10-pound baby. All my babies were, I think my boys were both 6 pounds. It's possible Michaela Sue could have been 7. She weighed the most out of all 3 of my kids, but I am tired. So I'm going to pause it again until I can get to my notes, which is on my computer, and I will talk more about the stuff that I was intentionally planning on talking about. So I just blinked, and that blink lasted a fraction of a second too long. So for sure, I need to focus. Okay. All right. I've been talking to myself out loud. Oh, which, guess what, y'all? Okay, hold on. Rejuvenated. I need to remember the word rejuvenated. So there was a study that was done about sound light deprivation, right? And I think it's real. Anyway, a majority of the people went freaking crazy being locked in a room that was dark. They couldn't see, they couldn't hear. Well, maybe the hearing part, whatever. Anyway, they couldn't see, and there was no other sounds in the room except their breathing or whatever. The only person that did not lose their mind is the person who talked to himself. And it is something that began to be utilized in the military and in, you know, I don't know, maybe I feel like they mentioned firefighters in the medical field. So for instance, the doctor's like scalpel, right? He's saying what he needs, the ventricle, bilateral ventricle, whatever they say, right? Surgeons. And so anyway, it's good for your brain, and it's also good specifically to help get you out of a state of fear. Talking to yourself, maybe naming things that you see. And so I believe the person was naming things, you know, like, I don't know, his feelings or something. I'm in a room and it's dark and I can't see, but I can hear my voice and I'm okay. And my name is John, you know, whatever. So it's not as crazy. Talking to myself out loud. There's this funny thing. I don't know if it's funny to you. Depending on, you know, which century you were born in. So there used to be this thing, oh, it's okay if you talk to yourself, just don't answer yourself. Like if you ask yourself a question, don't also answer, because you could have more problems than whatever problem you're talking about. So I realized I'm over here talking about how exhausted I am, and then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm rejuvenated. And then I started drinking my water. Have you drank your water today? Drink up. Get hydrated. Matter of fact, nobody noticed anything. Okay. Super hydration. Super rejuvenation. Love, compassion, self-care, self-respect. What else can I speak over my water? Wealth, abundance, health, good health, energy, super powered energy. Have y'all started talking into your water yet? Jacob came up with a good idea, and so we have an ice machine maker, which y'all gotta clean those things, you know. Isha cleaned mine. Thank you, cousin. So I spoke over the water to be frozen. So now my ice is full of love and compassion and wealth and abundance and health and kindness to self. My time to beat was 3:44. It now says my arrival is 3:40. Because I also speak power over these light fixtures. What not light fixture? Stoplights, traffic lights. Okay, energy. Yes, call it forth. Stop speaking spells over yourself, saying negative stuff over yourself. Speak positive stuff. I am completely, perfectly hydrated, and I am perfectly rested. I am trying to convince myself, and myself is trying to convince me otherwise. But I am Shira. I am the power. I have the power. Alright, I gotta pick up my kids, and I also gotta set this phone aside so they don't want to, I don't know, do whatever they typically want to do when they see a camera's going. Alright, the only issue I have with my Honda Odyssey is how this, almost said spacebar, how this gas pedal is. It is not, I think, as sensitive as it should be. So there's parts, if you put your foot on, if you have your foot just relaxed against it, it does not always work with enough oomph. Now, if you have your foot on it just right, it does have some pick up and go, which reminds me when I was in the, I think it was Dunbar, so the 6th grade Dunbar. That was back in the 1980s, late 1980s, 1900s. Oh, there's my handsome boy. Anyway, let me go real slow so I can tell you all this. Pins used to be a thing, like, you know, pins. And they had this thing where you at school where you could make them. And there was this one pin that I bought, and it was a walrus just laying down, and it said, "My get up and go, gotta done win." And my 11-year-old self thought that was the most hilarious, beautiful, amazing, funny thing, and it was great. And these are the teachers. Okay, I've got my notes. Remember. Okay, so hold on. Transition. So I was just in the car, I don't know, 40 minutes ago, and maybe even an hour ago that I started doing this episode. I'm looking for my dad. It's not him. It's a company that delivers all your goods. Anyway, so I was in the car, and I did my what if thing, right? And then I was talking about learning mahjong and bridge, and I was talking about Sabrina and how that goes into the topic for today, which is me loving to see. Like, I'm here for it. I want to see it. I desire it. It makes me feel so good when I see people in their niche, you know, and that specific thing that is theirs, unique to them. Now, not necessarily that they're the only ones in that space, but it's definitely their space. Like they belong there. I just love it. I'm thinking of, so I believe I already talked about the Monica with food lady. Then there's the other ladies. They're like two best friends. A woman who's probably my complexion, and that, why does that matter? It's two black women. One's dark, one's light. And I'm saying that because, not that it matters, but if you know who they are, you know who they are. Hilarious. There's this other lady, and she has like this evil mwahaha laugh. It's delightful. I don't know her name. I may have shared her stuff before. So, Jordan the Stallion, 8. He is in his niche. I mean, it's perfect. I love it. I love it. I just like get so tickled. And it's really encouraging. I've shared about Tiffany, the author, and how when she read an excerpt from her book at her book launch, like I got chills, you know, like she belongs in that space. And it's like, you know, like when you're working, but you love the work that you do, you know, or let's even say you're serving and you love it, you know, whether it's at church or you volunteer somewhere and it just fills you up. It's beautiful. Or when you cheer somebody up, it could just be, you know, little random things like that. My space is love and thoughtfulness. I am intuitive, and I see needs, right? I see gaps, and yeah, like I just am constantly I'm constantly on, right? I've said that before. I'm always on. And you know, one example is I was at the bank, and there was an older lady who was already with the teller, and she was older, and they were having some sort of issue. They couldn't XYZ, whatever it was. I don't know. They were telling her that basically they were going to need her to sit down, and she's older, like I said, she had a cane, and I was in the middle between, so it was her at one teller, I was in the middle, and then the space that they wanted her to go to was beside me, and there was a chair pushed in. So I just like scooted the chair out so that she wouldn't have to hold the cane in one hand and try to drag the chair with her other hand and possibly fall. And because the tellers are behind, you know, the wall and the desk and the glass and all of that stuff. So and then a little bit later, we were there for a while. I was like, well, actually, she also coughed, but I was thinking she probably needs some water. So I asked, do you have water? Because I'm thinking maybe they have like little water bottles. And they're like, we have a water fountain. So I'm like, okay, do you have a cup? And they're like, yeah, actually we do. We have some solo cups. And I shared that I was asking on her behalf, and I'm like whispering, I'm talking really low. I don't need that woman to know that it's me that's coming up with this. And so then they're like, oh, well, let me just ask her if she wants water. Yes, she wants water. And they had somebody else who worked in the bank, really nice young man, go get her some water, and they presented to her. Again, I don't need credit for that from the lady, but I know I made an impact. I made an impact on the lady, whether she knew it was from me or not, and I made an impact on the two women who were the tellers, because I brought something to their attention that hadn't been on their mind. And I hope that it's something that they'll remember and do themselves, you know? So those are ways. Like I know enough Spanish to help someone at the DMV. Yeah. So, the other thing though that I do and that I've done for many, many years is I speak over others, and some have told me, just a really powerful and profound way, like I hug strangers, like if I see that they're hurting, like I can just tell. And now I have started asking people permission. I mean, I've always asked, can I hug you? Would you like a hug? And I say that the whole thing about asking is because I was in an elevator with a woman, and something was going on. She was there with maybe like an older relative and a younger relative, and I was trying to get her attention, and I touched her, and she like flinched. And I was like, okay, I should have asked. I should, don't just be touching people, and definitely don't be touching people's hair, especially if they're black people. Don't touch their hair. Do not invite yourself into their space and touch their clothes, and they're not a petting zoo. I don't know if I talked about it here. I'm trying to remember when I talked about it, but I had a situation happen when JD was smaller. Like half his size. I don't know. He might have been 5, 6. And an older white male came up to us behind us in the Sam's Club line and like patted him on his head and touched his hair. And I was frozen. I didn't say anything, and there are some people who might hear that and be like, oh, it's harmless, and it's an old guy and he doesn't know better. But he should have had known better, and I wish that I had not frozen, that I would have had the the power in the moment to confront, not nasty, but please don't do that, or you should ask. But also, my son's not a petting zoo. I've been in spaces where it's a group setting. So I did this trip right to Costa Rica, and there was this healing thing going on. It's healing. And it was a women's retreat. Yeah. And someone was talking, and they were crying. They were telling their story, and a couple other people were like looking for tissues to give to her, and I stopped them because she needed to be able to get it out. And as soon as you disrupt her from that story, from that moment, then it's going to knock her out of it, and she won't be able to finish the story, to complete it, to get to the other side of it, right? Ugh, I think I got an ant crawling on me. All right. So, like things like that, like stuff that and you can help somebody. Others, help yourself too. So, let's see. Looking back at my notes, sometimes I just know things, right? And that might be part of my ability to talk to someone. Sometimes I just get a feeling. Sometimes I just get, you could even call it a compulsion. Sometimes maybe I take it too far. I'm aggressively nice. I'm aggressively encouraging. Yeah. I don't know that it relates, but so I have told y'all about women in the church telling me that I was flirtatious, and that I really ought to stop, which I was just being myself. Like, I see someone and I'm happy to see them and my face lights up. I'm sorry, I don't know how to mask that. When I first came in, I was not jaded. I left pretty jaded. But, hey, gorgeous. I said, hey, gorgeous. Good, how are you? Yeah, you are? Yeah, me too. Yeah, hello. I don't want to live near the equator. Yes, 100%. San Diego weather year round. I love it. Yes. um. I speak over her too. I learned this like neurolinguistic programming technique from Shay, the expert. And I helped her with that as well. I gave her a little gift. I bought myself something, right? And it was like super cute. But it went along with this thing that I had her think about to disrupt the pattern of the other thoughts, right? And so I gave it to her so that she would always have it and so she would always remember and so that she wouldn't have that same trigger response, you know? So that's who and how I am. So the flirtation thing, church, right? So then I wind up having a conversation with him. We were friends. I had friend zoned him and I talked to him and he was like, oh, you're like that with everyone. Well, I had used the word flirtatious and I'm like, I am not flirtatious to everyone. But he didn't even see it, one, as a bad thing or as flirtation. He just saw it as me, as a butterfly, you know, just floating along, going to all of the little flowers, plants, and touch points, you know, presence. But no, there's no but to that. Well, there is a but. And it's not to that, it's not to him, it's not to his ideal or his vision of me, but in church, I had been told by a guy, I think it was a guy, a brother, right? Brother in Christ. We used to do side hugs, except for Jesse. Jesse Vivaro did not give women side hugs. He gave them full on hugs, and them hugs was awesome. Oh, he gave great hugs. Anyway, I was told by a brother to not look another brother in his eyes because I was going to cause him to struggle with, you know, lust. That, among many other things, was put on me. You know, like I'm to blame, or my keys are down here so I don't lose them in the grass and shifted scared me. Somehow I'm to blame. You know, like I had a dress on one day and you know, it wasn't even like a tank. You know, like I always wear shirts that are like this, right? This is a dress. But so I had a dress with sleeves here. The dress went to my knees. It was navy blue. And I think there was a white trim around the collar. So it's collared dress. There's my neighbor. She needs my help, maybe. Or she wants to give me something. She's amazing. And I'm good. Yeah. Today? Okay. Yeah. Is it banana? Zucchini? Banana cake. Okay.
She made it.
Thank you so much. It looks lovely.
Yeah. I said I take it, but I don't want to give to my neighbor.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
How's the weather in your house? The air conditioning?
Oh, yeah. It's been good because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank God. Right? Won't he do it? Isn't God good?
Oh. God. Last time? 2017, 19, summer, 91 degrees in my house.
Yes. Yeah.
You are lucky.
Yes. That has happened to us a couple times. But yeah, very lucky right now. Yes, let's keep this Florida winter going. Sometimes, yes. The front door and then the back window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the back is you have to go to clean it.
I know. Got to get
Thank
Daniel over here to pressure wash it. Yeah, it looks gross.
Where's the kids?
Inside with JD.
He's a babysitter.
Yes, he is. He's a big boy. Okay. So yeah, that was put on me, that like is to me is very modest, right? It didn't matter. Then I came to church once in sweatpants and a lumberjack shirt, like a man's button up plaid. I mean, I'm sure I was looking hideous. And I got talked to about that too, but a brother, Greg, sister, you need to do better. This is the best I got, brother. So a lot of sisters, a lot of women in that particular church, and I'm sure in others, certainly the sister churches, in that family of churches, a lot of weight gain, weight loss, paranoia, you know. Several guys thought I liked them because I smiled, or my face lit up because I hadn't seen them since Sunday, the week before. And, someone was like, oh, I can tell you're so happy to see me. Yeah, I am. But, so I grew up as an only child. I didn't feel lonely, but apparently might have been kind of lonely. And everyone was my family, right? So there was no accountability for the males. They could just, oh, she made me struggle. Boy, if you don't read your Bible, if you don't pray, if you don't get on your knees and beg God for your own, righteousness, if you don't look away and, I don't know, fast, why don't you fast? Why don't you drink some water? And, pray to God to heal your heart, your wicked, your wicked heart blaming women. Is not them, it's you. Obviously, I'm speaking very passionately about this frustrating thing. This is righteous indignation. All right, that's my this is not scripted, y'all. So anyway, I'm like this, with a lot of people. I know a lot of business people, and I am the queen of referrals. Two people that I know, most recently, this year, sent, a dozen to one and maybe 20 to another. I go hard for the people that I care for that, offer a service. There's one of the guys, he has a CRM system and it's awesome. And I just about text everybody in my contact list. I didn't do that for the second person, with the AI company, but I did reach out to people and I sent people to both of them. But the CRM guy, he's so sweet, and they're both very generous people. And Corey, he wants to help the little man, the small business man, not the, 1,000+ employee corporation. And he's just very thoughtful. And so every chance I got to send business to him, every conversation I had, I was thinking in my mind, could his services help them? That's who I am. That's how I am. If someone says I'm looking for a house, my spidey senses are up, and I know but I'm going to find a house for them, potentially, and or meet a realtor, which has happened same day. I connect people. That's one of my superpowers, is connecting, like the gap. It's a gap, and I'm a bridge. That's one of the things that I am. So, again, unscripted. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so sometimes I just know things. And I'm sure I could speak over someone or to someone, and perhaps it doesn't resonate in that moment, especially if they're insecure, okay, or unsure of themselves. If I'm the only voice or one of among too few voices telling them something positive, right? And so I know that there are men that are out there that are insecure. I don't know that I've had a lot of friends, male friends, who were in that category, so I can't speak to that. But I can speak as a woman who had a lot of insecurities and who wound up in trash relationships because of those insecurities, and unsafe, unhealthy relationships. And sometimes you attract what you believe about yourself. And so if you don't think that you're worthy, when someone who is wonderful and amazing tells you you're awesome and you're worthy, it won't resonate. It won't feel right. It'll feel unsafe. Rather, that person would match or feel weirdly safer with the person that tells her she's garbage, right? And so I have a friend, and luckily, okay, so I have a friend. She's a friend of a friend. And for years, I'm going to call it over a dozen years. I might even be able to say 20 years. For sure, I've known her for over 20 years. And so I've spoken to just beautiful, beautiful woman, just lovely. I'm not going to say who she's connected to. Oh, because I almost gave it away. There are a lot of people in her life that are just like so nasty and negative towards her, and they act like she's the problem. And she does have some problems, but they don't think she's the problem when they're getting money from her. When she's footing the bill, she's not a problem. She's a problem when she bucks up against, if she has the nerve at any given point. There's an ant. Okay, sorry, y'all. To stand up for herself, that's when she's the problem. When she asserts herself, that's when she's a problem, because she's been being used as a money bag, money bank, whatever, ATM machine, and punching bag. And so every chance I get, I tell her just how exquisite she is, how marvelous she is, how gorgeous she is, how much of a fighter she is, how much of a survivor she is. And I am grateful that she believes me in those moments, and I get encouraging feedback from her, that my encouragement is well received, and so that makes me happy. Let's see. Do, 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 do. I wrote some other notes about her. So I said her mom is definitely supportive of her in general, this woman. However, even though she's been to hell and back, definitely more times than one, feels resonance when I tell her she's a rock star. She's able to receive it. And to her, it feels like love. Yes. What, baby? Okay. We can call him a little bit later, okay? I just have to send my Cash App, so I apologize for this. I take back my apology. I'm unapologetic. No, for real, I'm sorry. Y'all, give me a second. Happily Heredia is my Cash App. $sign Happily Heredia. Y'all want to send me $5 each? That'd be awesome. I'm not kidding. Unless you need me to be kidding. And then I'm kidding because that's so crass. Is that crass? Boom. Okay. So what was I saying? All right, so I was reading this. I was reading some of the notes. Okay, so to her, it feels like love. It feels like hydration. And she soaks it up as best as possible. And then what I wrote is that I would say that she and I both are oceans. But hers, while it keeps her going, has been so depleted. And although I've got my ups and downs that y'all have literally watched me in real time kind of be in, like those moments of silence, those are hard times for me. Let's see. I'm pouring into her out of an abundance. So for me, it's coming from an abundance. And when she gives, and she still chooses to do so, even for those who take her for granted, who use her as a commodity, um, there is one person in her life that's been, in her life for a long consecutive time. And that person, is someone who has chosen her in order to deplete her light. He is the literal Death Star. And she convinces herself that he's good, which I think is just about that survival technique, because I put blinders on in past relationships. I made allowances or only thought the good thoughts, that's just to keep your head up, to keep moving forward, especially if you didn't have a way out or didn't think it was possible. The first time for me, I was 20. I was just young and ignorant, and my dad, although he always said he would be there for me, it didn't feel like I could just always go tell my dad a thing, and then the time before that, I think I was in my early 30s. So yeah, sometimes it's what people do. Like I've said, well, this guy's because one of them was a single dad. That's the one I did the restraining order on, but I I met the mother of his kids, and I tell you what, he was not a good dad. And how do you call anyone a good dad who beats up his wife, who beats up the mother or cusses out the mother of his kid? How do you call that person a good person or a good parent? That's not good parenting. I don't care how nice they are to the kids. So I have a different view of people. I don't give them, yeah, sure, I think, everybody has the capability of good behavior, or they have special talents or skills or whatever, like, maybe the person's an electrician and they are really good with putting them wires together, but they beat their wife. That's not a good person or a good husband or a good father. A good electrician, maybe. Anyway, you get my point. Some people change. Some people get help, right? They seek help, counseling, whatever, therapy, shock therapy. Some people have shifted. It's true. So there can be redemption. Though even their redemption and their healing, the cost of what they have done might be not having a relationship with the person that they tortured and hurt, So when I wrote these notes, this is what I wrote. Do these people get access to you or to those they've violated, hurt, betrayed? Sometimes, but not always. Nor should they if their presence is harmful. And then I remembered a show, and I couldn't think of what it was. Thomas Crown Affair guy. What's his name? He also was a 007. What's his name? Dark hair. I can't think of his name, but he's in a show where he's the husband, and he's married to Helen Mirren in the show. And then there's a Tom. I don't know his last name. It's not Tom Holland from... What was Tom Holland in? Spider-Man? It's the other Tom from the thing Venom. That guy. Oh. So his character... I hope they do a second season. And do y'all know the name of the show? It's so good. Oh, you know what? Haha. imdb.com. Let me just pull this up. Let's see. Oops. My battery, 8%. Battery life. Tom. Should I look it up that way? Or Mirren? Helen Mirren. Boom. July 26, 1945. She's a Leo. Alright. Filmography. The Queen. Red. Oh, that was so good. Red was a good... Mobland. That's the show. Yes. Power is up for grabs as two warring crime families clash in a battle that threatens to topple empires. Harry D'Souza. Pierce Brosnan. I couldn't think of him. That's the 007 guy. He's Conrad Harrington. Tom Hardy. Oh, he is the truth. He is the absolute total truth. Yes. That was good. That's good show. Okay. Trigger warning. Also, the show's not for everyone. Way crazy family dysfunction, like at its disgusting height, and various abuse, infidelity. Those are some of the trigger warnings. All right, so I speak over people, and sometimes it's rare to find someone who speaks over me, who sees me. It happens. I'm back to my notes now. And it does happen within my circle, my tribe. So Jacob even recently thanked me, and it felt really good to be acknowledged for the support that I give him, that he felt supported. And in that support, he felt loved. And he felt and expressed that there wouldn't really be a lot of people in this same scenario that would have given that support that I did. And so it was meaningful because I know it's true, but he also gives me that support, like for me to go on this healing trip that I haven't gone into detail yet, that I probably will. I've gone to see friends out of state, and he's held everything down here. I've done the third one was with him, meditation retreats. So yeah. Anyway, my dad, he's always telling me I'm a genius, or I'll hear him tell someone else that I'm a genius because since I've been 2 or 3 years old, I help him with all his technology difficulties. My best friend, I think the things that hit the most with her is when she is in awe of my parenting, just how patient I am, that I didn't just cuss out my kid for whatever they did, because that was her experience growing up. She's just amazed that I don't go ape crap crazy. And she and I both talk to each other about what you know, like what a great friend she is to me, what a great friend I am to her. And anyway, I have a friend who, ooh, that plane seems extra loud. I have a friend who calls me for my insight, you know, and because I have another superpower, kind of like looking at the big picture of things and seeing different perspectives. This does not always bode well with my marriage, which I have talked about before. So like my husband will tell me something that happened in his side, and I'm all worried about the other person's point of view. You know, what if there was a mix-up or a misunderstanding, which has made my husband not feel supported in those moments. So I gotta ask, you know, am I a sounding board? Can I, you know, do you want my input? Do you want my advice? And sometimes he says no, and then boop, throw that away. So I respect that he's not ready, you know. So anyway, I love this friend and how receptive she's become. And yes, baby. I wish there was a pause button, y'all. Hey, love. You want to sit on my lap?
What's this?
It's banana. It's some sort of like banana cake bread. So, baby, you can't have it because I don't want you throwing up.
I'm not to open it and eat it.
Yeah, you're right. You're not going to open it or eat it. That's true. You can come sit on my lap after you go wash your face, please. Because I have instructed you to do that. Okay? Can I get a kiss, though? Can I get a kiss?
First was to
Okay. How about you go wash your face, then you can come sit on my lap, and then we can both go inside. Is that a good plan? Yeah? Here, do you want to take the keys inside so we don't lose the keys?
Yes.
That would be great.
But tell me what we shoot at.
No, but I can count. How fast are you going to do? You want to race?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it in 7 seconds? Yeah. On your mark, get set, go. 1, 2, 3. Long seconds. 4, because she's walking slow. 5. 5 1/4. 5 1/2. 5 3/4. 6. You're almost there. 6 1/4. 6 1/2. 6 3/4. 7 seconds. Get your brother to open the door. All right, I'm gonna see if I can wrap this up. Sonic! Kalel is expecting to be called Sonic right now, so that's why I just shouted out Sonic. Kalel! Kalel! JD!
Your call has been...
Will you try the door? Oh gosh, y'all, okay. I'm coming, baby. Is it a lizard? All right, come with me to the front of the house, please. Oh, they closed the door. After I'm done, I can, okay? Sonic, you didn't hear us calling you?
What?
Will you put this on the counter? And will you close the door, please? Thank you, son. Okay. I'm going to say hi to this tree. I'm going to touch this tree. All right, y'all. I'm turning into a hippie. I think I thought they were pretty cool looking growing up. I grew up in Los Angeles. Lots of hippies out there. Okay. So, in my, nope. All right. So, I've been thinking about that for a day or two, and I felt like I didn't really have a hype person, but I do. Shay, you are my hyper-upper. But there have been times over the years when she's, gone on and on about how great I am in a particular, I don't know, subject or whatever. Where it was very hard for me to receive those compliments. I just felt like smoke was being blown on me, right? Excuse me. Where's my super hydration water? You know what? I gave it to Michaela Sue, as a matter of fact. All right. So here's my point. Here's where I'm going with that. Sometimes the hyper-upper, right? The me's and the you's, right? Sometimes we don't give it back. Sometimes the givers, there are givers, and sometimes there's takers, and sometimes the takers don't give. And sometimes it's reciprocal, which is great. I called because the door was closed and I wanted your help, but you didn't answer, but it's already resolved, which is why I didn't answer. I'm almost done. You're welcome. I love you. Do you want me to not say anything to the teacher? Because I didn't really like that or feel comfortable with that. I understand, but would you be okay if I said something? Or is that going to be problematic for you? Guess what?
Yes, it will be problematic.
Okay. All right. The one time. That's the one pass. What happened is the one pass. Okay. So, sometimes us givers don't have people, and sometimes it would take multiple people to do what the one of us does, right? And the thing is, I'm not looking for reciprocity. I'm not giving 100 compliments so I can get 100 back, or even 50, 10, 1 back. Although I do find that people kind of sort of do the whole obligatory, oh, you too thing. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to just give, especially like when it's strangers, Now, sometimes it's frustrating because like I look shot out and they're like, what is this ugly chick trying to tell me I'm beautiful? Not that I just call myself ugly, because that's not what I mean, but man, sometimes you have shot out days. You're not looking pretty. But that's insecurity. That's my insecurity talking. It is. Does your insecurity creep up when somebody gives you a compliment, when someone notices, I don't know, how brilliant you are and tells you, or how generous you are? Are you so used to just giving and not receiving that it makes you uncomfortable to be on the receiving end? Does it feel lonely when you're the one who's giving everybody else the answers, but nobody has answers for you? Maybe you're the smartest one in your circle. I have a friend who's pretty smart. Usually one of the smartest people in the rooms. And she notices when there's somebody else that's smart. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's refreshing. I'm pretty smart. I'm usually not the smartest person in the room, but I'm pretty daggone smart. I'm superior when it comes to emotional intelligence, that's for sure. Ah. Do you get the love and the care and the pouring into that you do for others? Because I want that for you. Like, I want, with all of the nourishment, and just all the giving, all the extras, right? The just becauses. Oh, big ant. Woo! I want you to get some of that back. Like, I want you to have that. I really do. And like, wherever it comes from, it might be me, it might be your brother, it might be your cousin, it might be a coworker, it might be a patient. Like, you could be a nurse practitioner, in the ER, and your patient noticed that the care that you gave them was just on a different level. They didn't feel like a number when you came into the room and checked on them. I want them to tell you how brilliant and amazing and good you are. I want you to know that you're unique and you're special, and you deserve praise, and you deserve hugs and goodness and love and kindness and support and rest. Like, you deserve rest. Like, you don't have to be the strong one all of the time. Go take a nap. Go drink your water. There are some people who just do so much and they don't know how to rest. They don't know how to be still. If they were still, they might pass out. And I don't want that for you either. But speaking of capacity, right? I'm an ocean. My best friend, I'm gonna say she's got a couple of oceans up in her. The amount of BS that she puts up with from all different walks of the world that she has walked, because of the things that she experienced as a child, whew, she can handle some BS, until it's too much, and then you snap. That's what they got, a whole show called Snapped. Which I don't think I have ever watched that. I don't need to put that in my system. Who's the person that can match you with your giving, I want everyone to have love. I want everyone to be healed by love. I want everyone to know love, to be loved. And I can't love everybody. I can't give everybody love. Should be some boundaries. Not always the best at boundaries. Sometimes, like spending, as an example. Like, I'll see something that so-and-so would just love, and I'll get it, and I'll hold it so I can give it to them for Christmas or birthday. But then I give it to them early, and then when their birthday comes around or Christmas, I'm giving them another gift because it's their birthday or it's Christmas, even though I already gave them stuff, unless Unless the big checks haven't deposited, then I'm not doing that. Then it's hugs and kisses that I'm. You deserve to be poured into. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cared for. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be acknowledged. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be heard, and you deserve for your needs to be met, you know? Like, yeah, your needs to be met. Someone shouldn't force the way they want or prefer to do things if that's not your preferred method, right? It took me a long time. I don't know if it was a long time. That took me a time anyway. I can't just be pouring my ocean on everybody, right? When some people are shot glasses, right? And it's, it's not my job. And you can't be doing that either, But in your capacity, however big, however small, however whatever you are, make sure with all the pouring out that you do, all the love that you give, all the special attention that you give to each of the people who are in your life, in whatever, way that is, make sure that you're not empty, right? Make sure you're loving yourself. If you have to pat yourself on the back, do that. Write yourself a love note. The way that you give to others, is there a way that you can do that to yourself, So, like, I could write myself a love letter. Words are important. They matter. I could gift myself. Anyway, not everyone is seeking validation, but maybe it's because they rarely get it, so they don't even know what that is. Are you someone who feels good when you're validated, when you're acknowledged? Do that for yourself too, I think that's all I've got. And my daughter wants me to help her wash her face. So I'm going to sign off, but join me. Join me in loving yourself. Loving oneself. I am loving myself. Love yourself. Yeah. Yeah. One thing, man. Can you do one thing today? Can you do one thing to love yourself? Beyond drinking water, can you, I don't know, do something fun, watch something funny, treat yourself to a chocolate milk. I had one the other day, and I had some sweet tea, and my left ankle is swollen. It's probably the sugar. I'd gone a long time without sugar, like that, and that kind of dosing. Anyway, love you, and And do your best to enjoy every kind of compliment and praise that you get, every acknowledgement of the support that you provide. Ooh, it's my cousin Isha, so it's a good time. So with that, I'm just going to straight out close out and wish you the very best and hope that this is still recording, yes, and that I can mix it with, oh, I better answer. Hey, cousin. I remain unapologetically yours. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your support. All right, bye.